thank you very much. And I welcome everyone to this meeting. I now take this opportunity to invite the director to make opening remarks and officially opening this session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, the MC stroke chair for the meeting today, Mr. Wafula. I also wish to appreciate our GIS team led by Maitia and everyone involved in convening this particular meeting, and to also appreciate our various experts for taking time out of their busy schedules to attend and also engage on how we are doing the interface between GIS and ENVIS in the sphere of environmental assessment. I hope you will find the session useful, and it is one amongst a series of engagements we have planned to help build our capacities, both from our end and from you as practitioners, to make the practice of assessment more aligned with global trends, where most of these modern tools are being deployed. So we hope that it will be first an important platform. Secondly, then that we'll have an opportunity to raise any queries or questions, so that it's an open and candid discussion. So with those many and few remarks, I wish all of us a successful and productive meeting. Thank you very much. Back to you, Wafula.
Thank you, Director. Now we have one main presentation that's going to be made by Maithia Sylvester.
And thank you for the members who have managed to join us in this presentation. We are technically addressing only the GIS module. I know a lot of training has gone on about many modules, but our interest is specifically on the GIS module. And I don't have any slides. I just want us to move to the live presentation of the system as it is, and then from there we shall see how to go about the uploading of the location files. Now, we have several options, because when you guys are doing an environmental impact assessment, we have made it mandatory that you give us the location of the project. And I hope everyone now understands why we need to know the location of the project, because we want, even before our reviewers go to the site, you can even see the project location against a high resolution satellite image, like what you guys can see here. And from this, you can still make some comments still when on the desktop without having gone to the field. But this does not nullify the requirement to go to the field. And that's why we need those locations. So we have had several options, and I'll just quickly run through, and I will practically go through each one of them. And from the top here, we have what you are calling you have an existing location file, or upload an existing file. For this case, the system provides three types of files. One is a shape file, which is mostly used by GIS experts. And I know in this congregation, we might be having several people who are GIS experts. That's a shape file. And we have put there into brackets .zip. It's because those of you who have interacted with GIS, you know a file, for example, for like a road, it has at least five files, single files. But we want them put into one folder and you zip it. I'll be demonstrating this one. And secondly, the other one that we have is a KML. Those of us who have interacted with Google Earth, it works with KML file format, and the KML stands for Keyhole Markup Language. And lastly, we also have got what we are calling GeoJSON. And the GeoJSON, this one is mostly used by programmers and the people who are doing web mapping and other web map hosting services. There's another option whereby because we decided to give so many options so that we don't have challenges. The other option is whereby you can draw a polygon maybe within the map. Because some of us, you must visit the site where you are doing your EIA for the project. Let's say, for example, you are constructing apartments in Nairobi. And if you know the site, you can just click in the map and draw the polygon outline of the plot in which the construction will be taking place. And the other option is a point. And for a point, we'll have some projects whereby maybe probability is a point. And a case and example is when you have like a borehole. For a borehole, we'll expect you to submit a point. And the other option is to do a line. A line would come in when you are doing things like pipeline. It could be pipeline for water, oil, or gas. In that case, we expect the location file to be submitted in form of a line. And then lastly, for point purposes, I mean for projects which are coming in as points, for example, the borehole. Maybe you have gone to the site and you don't have any of these options. You don't have a shapefile, you don't have a KML, JSON. For example, you don't have all these files. You don't also have a polygon, a point, but you have gone to the field and you have picked the location where the borehole will be drilled, and you have those coordinates. You have the latitude and the longitude. This is where you'll be now keying in the coordinates. And something that I must make it clear here is that when you are keying in your points, the only area where we are experiencing people with the challenges is when you are doing the latitude. For example, if you have a point south of equator, you realize that if you are using mobile applications which give you coordinates, they will give you coordinates. When it is south of equator, they will give you S before then the other numbers. And for that case, that's why we have given here EG -2, 0.223. If the point is to the south of equator, then you must put negative to depict that it is south of equator. Don't put the S. The coordinates here we are expecting only numbers, and when you put S, it will be rejected because we have validation checks as you key in the coordinates. For the longitude, we know Kenya is to the east of Greenwich Meridian, so all the longitudes are positive. So you just key the longitude as it is, but for the latitude, that is the area where we are experiencing some challenges. Now, with this, I think we can start the run through. And I am doing this one in a production environment. That is the platform that you guys use to submit the applications. And I would be just demonstrating, I'll be able to key in coordinates. And for example, let me just get some coordinates and I will start with the coordinates at the bottom. I want to do what we call the bottom up. And this one has nothing to do with any political alignment. I just want to start at the bottom with the coordinates, then we go up as we demonstrate this one. And I decided that in our invitation, we requested that most of us to install Google Earth. So if you have installed Google Earth, probably I can navigate quickly with you so that I can be able to show you how you'll be getting these coordinates from Google Earth, in case you have not picked them with a GPS in the field. I recommend GPS over most mobile application apps because some of them are not that accurate. Because if you are cross-checking where your coordinates goal and the title number that you are given us, because you have the entire cadastre for Nairobi and Mombasa and most of the cities in Kenya, then that one will be having some challenges in case the app did not pick the correct coordinates. So for this case, maybe to give an example, let me just open Google Earth, and probably I can stop sharing this so that I share my Google Earth. I share my Google Earth application. Just good. Now I want to give an example. I want to search, for example, I know I have published our NEMA GIS lab, because some of these things you do projects where you know, and you know, like what we call landmarks that can give you the proximity to where your project is. Let's say, for example, you are doing something within NEMA for the GIS lab, just to give an example. The Google Earth, when you type the search here, the place mark, it will give you that place mark. I'd already put this point here, but I'll just delete it so that I show you guys how to go about it. Let us say, for example, you are working around here, and this is where NEMA is. And maybe you are doing a borehole to an open space like this one here. This one here, this is an open space. What you'll do then is that in case you do not pick coordinates from the field, which are highly reliable, Google Earth will still sort you out if you know the locality of the area you're working on. You'll come here and click this point here, add a place mark, and move it. If you are now familiar with the area, and move it. And for example, let's say the point is there. You realize that here, it gives you the latitude and the longitude. And because when you will be putting them now in the ENVIS system, GIS module, don't put the degree. When you are copying, don't copy the degree. And I know some of you might be wondering, maybe in your Google app, if you try that, it is not giving you the decimal degrees coordinates like what we are having here. It is not giving you like -1 point and that 6 point. Maybe it is giving you 1 degree, second, and a minute. If you want to change this, you go to your tools, go to the tools, and then you click options. Go to the tools and click options. Under options, that is where we have the show lat stroke long. Select decimal degrees. You'll have sorted that problem. Select decimal degrees, you'll have sorted that problem. Then when you come back and click add your point, you will be able to move it to where you want to move it. And maybe here you can give it a name. Let's say NEMA borehole. Just a moment. NEMA borehole. When you type it there, before you say OK, you should be able now to copy the coordinates. And for this case here, I know I will be able now to pick all these coordinates and put them in the system. For example, I'll be able to copy from there. Don't copy the degree, and also copy this one from here. The advantage with when you select this is that it even sorts you with the problem of negative here. So you'll be good to go. And you can give your point a name. And now before you exit, or before you say okay, when you say okay, your point comes to the left, to the left panel. You can see to the left, you have a panel there. When you say okay, your point is saved somewhere here. On the left side of your Google Earth, we have the contents window, and you'll see somewhere written places. If you want to see the coordinates, you right-click the name, then you say properties. Then the coordinates will be displayed again. So let me go back to the system again. Then now we can now start seeing how to input the coordinates. Now, let's see, this is our, I hope you can see now the changed screen now. I'll just pull the coordinates from my Google Earth, and I come to the system. So my latitude, just paste there, and then I pick my longitude, come and paste here. And then you see, when you click submit, you see it has picked, and the point is there highlighted in red. I can zoom in so that you guys confirm that this is where we picked it. So you're able to see that this is where we picked the point. So that is one way of uploading coordinates, especially for point features. And remember, some of you have been submitting reports. Maybe even if you are doing a road and you have been submitting a point, you know a road cannot be a point. And we want to see the road cuts through which ecosystems, so that you can be able even to understand how it is affecting the environment. Maybe it has passed, but we are doing this training so that as we continue tightening the bolts, we are getting data and information that can help us to make decisions. So for this case, for points, we are restricting points to probably boreholes, and I'll be able to show you how to move about the rest, because I'll be giving examples of what you expect for each line feature that, for each type of feature that you're expecting from the EIA reports. So that is for points. So if you have not picked coordinates from the field, you can use Google Earth, and you can be able now to upload the coordinates like I have showed you. Remember, I think last week, I had a case whereby somebody was saying the coordinates are not working. And for that case, it was because there was no point after that 6. So the system was getting a very big number for longitude, and it could not load. And I think I was able to sort out that case. But remember to pick the correct coordinates so that when you put them here, you are able to get the correct data. And remember, we have also geofenced to make sure that if you give us points outside Kenya, they would be rejected. I'll be able to demonstrate that in a few. So I think that is the case for a point whereby you have picked coordinates from the field. Now we have an example. Maybe you want you are doing an EIF for maybe for a what example do I give? For a drainage, which is just short, and you know exactly where the drainage is passing through. This other option here, which we have said draw on the map, we are giving you an opportunity for you to draw or show the points or polygon on the map. For this case, I want to give an example of a line. Now, if somebody is doing maybe a drainage channel for along a road, that one would qualify to be a point. Or if you are doing a small pipeline, maybe let's say less than 100 meters or thereabout for water connection. If you are doing that, maybe you know the area very well and you know it is from this corner to this corner. When you come to the system and you select line, you will come here. When you click line immediately, you will see that your pointer has like a circular button. Then you click the start point. You can click another point, maybe along the road. I hope you can see what I am doing. And when you reach to the end, you double click. It will also pick. So whatever you're seeing here is now the line that you have digitized on the screen. And this one is critical for experts who really understand the site of the project. In case you are a lead expert and you have sent your associates, you need to liaise with them to make sure that you either pick data or it is them now who are able to do all this. But this one, because for most engineering projects, they are usually mapped before any design is done. We expect you to be getting this location file from the engineers or the surveyors. That is for the case whereby you want to do a line. Let's go back to you have not picked a point or on the ground. Maybe you don't know how to use Google Earth, but you know your project location. In that case, what you're going to do is, let's say, for example, we are here. This is Kenya School of Monetary Studies. And maybe you know where you want to do your borehole is somewhere here. What you'll do is that you'll come here, click the point feature, and then you click on the map, and it will be able to pick that point as the location of the project. The third option is whereby we are doing a polygon. And I want to insist on this polygon because this is where we have a problem. Some of you are giving us studies for maybe apartments, and you are giving us a plot like a point. And that is where now we want to encourage you now to use this feature. I know we are all familiar with most of the developed areas in Nairobi, or the most municipalities in Kenya, and the plot is usually clearly demarcated. And for that case, we expect you to give us the polygon. Let's say, for example, you are doing an environmental impact assessment. Yours is a study, and this is the plot outline. What you'll do is that when you come and select the polygon feature, you'll come and click this corner, click the other corner, click the other corner, and when you reach the last corner, double click, and it will pick. Please make sure the people who are doing developments for maybe structures, make sure that you give us that kind of outline. It doesn't have to be four corners, but you only click at the point where we have change of direction. If it's a polygon, if it is a trapezium, if it's a triangle, make sure you click every point where we have change of direction. And the last point, you double click. And then the system would pick that as the project location. We are receiving so much, and I know most of our things, if you look at our data, mostly it is points. So starting today going forward, any one of us who in this meeting, and those who can extend the same to our colleagues here, please make sure that we can be able to get the polygon for the plot under which we are doing development. We are saying that we are only expecting points for a borehole, not for anything else. If it's a plot you are doing development, we know a plot is not a point. If it is it's a water pipeline, we know it cannot be a point. If it is a road, it cannot be a point. And I think this one now closes the question on polygons.
Suppose now I have a large of land, but I want to develop a small area of that land.
Yes.
So am I supposed to highlight the area to develop, or I highlight the entire land?
The area that you want to develop. Maybe let me give an example.
Okay, thank you.
You have like 200 hectares of land, and that's your land where you are doing a ranch. But you need to construct maybe residential houses for your staff and things like that. We are only interested in the outline of those developments that you want to do. That area that you have decided to do, like the residential houses of your staff, not for each individual house, but that area that you are doing that the kind of development, that is what we want.
It means we can only use one option to identify the location. For example, if I drew a polygon and I put a point, will the system only pick one of them? That's the first question.
The system only picks the last, what you have done the last. For example, you have seen me do a line, a point, and a polygon. If, for example, now I move to the next, it will pick the polygon as the last project location.
Yes. You've mentioned that you have geofenced the country, Kenya. Is it possible, or have you geofenced the counties so that it will assist us or the proponents not to make mistakes of clicking the wrong county and putting different coordinates? Can you also kindly geofence the counties?
Thank you. Your name is Jimmy.
Jimmy Wakaimba.
Yeah, this is interesting. And initially, we also like to get the user feedback that yourselves. I know sometimes you are doing something and you find that it's not working. Initially, we just fence the counties, but you realize there are projects which are transboundary. Which are transboundary. For example, if you are doing a road which is connecting Isebania and probably coming all the way maybe to Kisumu, you'll find that it cuts across many counties. So if we geofence only that, maybe is it to Migori or Homa Bay, you'll find that it will be rejecting when you upload that line work for the road. So in that case, at some point we had tried to do that. We found it is giving us some troubles, but we are working out to see how to be able to geofence to ensure that if you have said it is in a particular county and a particular constituency, it is able to geofence all, but also understanding that we can be able to introduce something which says it is cross-boundary, so that when it is cross-boundary, it can allow a feature to cut across many counties.
Okay, thank you so much, Bona Sylvester. Mine is kind of related to Jimmy's question, because I'm wondering how you present a project where you have a plot, you have a borehole, you're also doing a borehole, and there is an access road to the site. And really appreciate if you show us how we would present such. Thank you.
Please come again. You are doing a borehole?
Yeah, you are doing a borehole, and at the same time you're developing the plots. You're doing some flats, and then there is an access road to the site. Thank you.
All right, that's an interesting one. Actually, I was discussing this one with our developers about what we call multi-geometry, whereby you have a point, a polygon, and a line. It's something that we are thinking through. But for this case, let's say, for example, you are doing the borehole and maybe you are doing flats in the same plot. If you give us the outline of the plot, that would be fantastic, because for the ball, it will be taken care of, and for the flat, it is taken care of. For the access road, maybe to clarify for the access road, Wafula, just to get it clear, can we have a combined report for the three? Just to make sure that I respond to this one correctly.
Yes, if it can work, then that would be even better.
All right. Let me explain how now you can go about this. Now, for the case of a borehole, a flat, and an access road, what you'll do is that when you do the outline for the plot, we would be able to see the plot outline, and we know that the borehole is within that plot. Then, when you are drawing now the plot, make sure, because I know you might most likely not be able to do a big, maybe access road. What you can do is that as you capture the plot, please make sure that you capture the access road as part of the plot. I'll be able to demonstrate this one. I hope you can still see my shared screen. I want to probably do something like this one. I want to assume that this is a plot which I want to develop. So what I'm going to do is that I will be able to do something like this, like this, like this. I click that corner. I click this corner. I will click that access road point. Sorry, I should not have done the first one. Let me just finish this so that I start again. You see, like, if you have something like this, let's say that, for example, this is the access road. Because we have an image background, we are able to tell that this one is a plot and this is the access road. That is a possible solution for that question that you have had. And we also understand that now, if you are doing a borehole, it is within also this plot, which is here. And you remember that you have also given us the title number for the parcel and also the title number or the LR number for that case. Those who are working in Nairobi, you know, Nairobi now, we don't have LR number, we have block numbers. So if you give us that, we are able to know exactly where the project is. So for that case, I think this is a workaround for at the moment. But giving us a polygon for the plot will be the highest priority, because from that plot, from the satellite image, you can be able to see the road that is leading to access to that particular plot. I hope this is clear.
When you have projects that are within forest areas, for example, water supply projects, whereby we have to site our intakes inside the forest, and now in this case, I'm talking about maybe land that is under Kenya Forest Service. You know, they have different blocks, and I don't think those ones have title deeds. How are we going to place them in the maps? And then still on the same, if you have an intake one inside the forests, that is the intake works, and then you have a treatment facility, and maybe you would also, as NEMA, maybe you would also want to see the location of where the treatment facility wants to be sited. It can be either on private land, or it can also be in, at the forest edges. And, some of these areas, I don't think they have title deeds. How are we going to handle that?
We understand that when we have, like in the forest, forest blocks, we don't have title deeds, those are public land.
Yes.
But for the question file for the pipeline that you'll be doing, I know before the contractor goes on site, the design has been done by the engineers. And before engineers do any design, surveyors must have gone to the site to do data collection. So actually, for anybody here who is handling engineering works, just ask the engineer to give you location file as a shape file for the project outline. Either you'll be given it as a shape file or as a KML. Whichever format they will give you, we will be able to upload this one. And for that case, you might not require to go and pick the data along the line where they are doing like this, it's a pipeline, because they must give you that outline or that line under which they are doing the pipeline. Once they give you that, your work will be, if it's a shapefile, I'll be showing you how to upload a shapefile, or if it's a KML, I'll also be showing you. Your work would be to come and upload that location file. Does that answer your question?
Partially, because what I meant is that, you see, when we're talking of an intake treatment works, there are storage tanks along the pipeline and distribution lines, retro lines. Are you going to be required to upload all that information? And in this case, for example, if we have our design engineers, our surveyors, our GIS experts, we will have to pick a lot of coordinates. Will NEMA require all those coordinates put in together for them to actually help them now understand, like now the project scope of the area that is supposed to be covered within that for that project when we are carrying out those SERs?
Actually, for your case,
Maita, before you go,
yes.
I think there's a question on the chat that's related to that. It's the question related to multiple points. For example, an expert has been tasked to undertake an assessment, and these projects are located in different locations across the country. Then they're required to submit one report, one EIA report, for several projects within one report. How will they pass across those coordinates in the report or in this map?
All right. For that case, for you to be able to submit that, you will only be able to submit it as a location file, because the location file, for example, a shape file, you can have a shape file, maybe of boreholes, one shape file, but it has 30 boreholes for that case, right? If it is a polygon, you can have one shape file and it has 10 polygons. So in that case, you will be required to go through the route of uploading a location file. That will come with all the locations of those other projects that you are having in different parts of the country, and the report is one. It's good that this one is coming out. I did not imagine of such, but the shape file or uploading an existing location file would be the only way to go, but not just having one coordinate. Does that answer the question?
Yes, I think, and there is one related to carbon project. It's similar to that one. So, is there a follow-up question?
Oh, yes.
She had two.
Okay.
She had two questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. My second question was on now the sanitation bit of it. The sewerage. If we want to do an SER for a sewerage, and you get there are some points that due to the different terrains. If I take, for example, like in Mount Kenya region, you want to have like one area that is a pumping station, another one is a treatment facility for the wastewater before being discharged. So we're still going to use the same methodology that you have advised for the water supply system, or other kind of methodology, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, I will work with you on this one to ensure that you don't struggle on this GIS module. Actually, the moment when I will share my contact, if you reach out to me, if you can share whatever data you are struggling with, I should be able to align it for you and send you the file for uploading. But just to make sure that it is only for those challenging, like the one you are asking for, not just another simple one like a borehole. We will not be able to do that. But for the complex ones, I should be able to help you to get it right in terms of location files.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think to address the concern raised by Wabere is that, just like in law, we don't apply it retrogressively. For those reports already submitted with points where they were supposed to have put polygons, we will process them as they are. But now going forward, we are hoping for improvement so that now you can present your data that is accurate and in proper format. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we proceed now to the questions on the chat, Wafula?
Actually, we are going through that. Are you able to see them?
Yes, I can.
There is one question on how, this is an admin. How will you, I will just read it the way it is. How will you be taking care of instances where different experts are doing different projects in a given area and no accuracy of polygon maps? How will you be taking care of instances where different experts are doing different projects in a given area and no accuracy of polygon maps? I think He's anticipating a situation where there will be overlapping of polygons, assuming that maybe there's some margin of error, and so there's likely to be overlaps and maybe affect the accuracy of the data that's being presented.
Thank you, Wafula. I think one of the reasons why we are doing this training is to ensure that the data that is submitted to NEMA through the system is accurate, and accurate enough to avoid those overlaps in terms of polygons, lines, or even points that might occur, which is a rare case for that case. And that is why I have advised the experts, let's not rely much on the mobile applications, because some of us will have a mobile application that you want to collect a point or a line location, and you forget to put your location on. On that case, it uses the network triangulation, which is not accurate. And in some instances, I know it will be giving you the wrong impression. Even yourself, when you upload, the beautiful thing is that even when you upload the points or the line or the polygon, you're able to see it on the map before you submit. And because you know the locality, you're able to verify that that is the correct position or that is the correct location of that given polygon or project site. Additionally, you are responsible. You are responsible for the data that you're giving us. And if you give us misleading information, Wafula, I know you have been with us long enough to know that there are times we were accused of allowing constructions in a forest. Somebody gives us a project report, he says it is here, but eventually it has gone into a forest or into another rest area for that case. So we are holding, and that is why the system says that the proponent is the one who is submitting the report, even if at times we know it is the expert giving us the data, but you are using the account of the proponent. So the proponent is responsible for giving us accurate work. And in the event we realize that there are overlaps, those are the times maybe probably we can sanction a field visit and see what is happening. That is depending on the magnitude of the overlap and also the magnitude of the projects. Back to you, Wafula.
Wanjiku, I don't understand you well. Maybe Wanjiku is asking how to map stakeholders. I think this information should be in the EIA report, because this particular case we are talking about is about identifying the project location. So if you are mapping stakeholders, this one should appear in the technical report, which you'll be presenting to NEMA. I believe that is what you wanted to find out, but not on the map. And of course, if you want, you can draw the map and still put it in the main body of the report. There's a question from Roy Okello. Okello, I will just read the way he has written. Are we not complicating issues? Water projects are at times very complex, having multiple points. Polygons, I think this one you've answered, Maithia. It's talking about having multiple points for projects.
Yes,
where
yes, I have answered
they attach location maps. What did you call it? They attach what?
Location file.
Location
and
file, yes.
That one is usually there. Engineers will always have it.
Okay.
Mm.
There is a Rehema asking which is the best application for Google Earth.
The best application.
There, kindly share the link.
The best application for Google Earth is the Google Earth itself.
Then there's Robert. GIS is a full package that needs at least 4 weeks training. Why don't you offer the training? Not all experts are familiar with the software. Then 2, have you changed the experts to submit the reports for the clients? I think, Maita, you can comment on the first one.
Please read the first one.
The GIS, the concern of Robert is that GIS is a full package that needs at least 4 weeks training. So he's recommending and asking NEMA to conduct a 4 weeks, maybe this particular training to experts. Your comment, please.
Okay. So I want to be honest and practical. The only best thing that you can do is that this kind of short trainings that can enable you to submit your reports. Actually, GIS is a 4-year training course at university, not even the 4 weeks is talking about. 4 weeks is capacity building. And sometimes we mix up when you are capacity building for 4 weeks on GIS, you will start calling yourself a GIS expert. So the best we can do is that we handwork with you, support you, and do this kind of short trainings so that you are able to submit these reports through ENVIS to NEMA. And I want to give an example. Technology is moving and changing. Now we have the AI, and sometimes you find that even the guys who are lawyers, I know we have lawyers who are experts. When things changed, when you are presenting your case, you are doing it virtually. I don't think that the courts did a training on virtual. So the best they could do is that they provide the platform and the infrastructure to ensure that the presentation is easy. The same way we are doing here. And we have committed that in the event somebody has a challenge, I've said I have given my contact so that anyone who has a challenge would be able to sort him out or her. So we can assure you that we'll support you. But doing our 4 weeks training, I don't know whether that is within our mandate. Back to you, Chair.
No, I think for us, we will advise that if someone wants to go and have a full training on GIS, there are many institutions I will recommend that once you identify a training gap, actually the experts should continuously be improving their capacities, and they can actually approach those institutions and undertake the course. Otherwise, for NEMA, I think for us, that is not our core mandate. Basically, what we do is we identify the challenges the experts are having, and we try and through such sessions, we try and, of course, bring out the issues and advise or guide on how you can overcome the challenges you're facing in ensuring that you deliver good service to your clients, but also you give us accurate data that can help the authority make a decision. Thank you. Baita, did you have the second part?
Yes, I hope we are done now. We can go to the second part. I don't see. Okay, I think somebody here is giving an opinion. Dan, Shepherds are the best solution in this uploading of any location on this platform. Those who need to understand basic GIS are creating files and devise them to invest in internet on YouTube. Okay, so I think it went on well. Now we want to go to the last component, and if you look at it, upload an existing file. Hapo kuna mahali tumeandika not a GIS expert, just in case you have a challenge. Now, whatever you are seeing there written I hope I'm still sharing my screen. Are you able to see as I navigate?
Yes.
Good. What you see there written GCS, WGS84. How do I explain this one? Now, I want to come from the perspective of coordinate systems in mathematics. Sometimes you find that you have a Cartesian coordinate system whereby the y-axis and the x-axis, the y-axis is vertical, the x-axis is horizontal. We have other coordinate systems whereby the y-axis is tilted and the x-axis is tilted, as long as the angle between them is 90. We have such scenarios. Now, for purposes of mapping and to ensure that everything within Kenya and the data that is submitted is consistent, we are using what we are calling GCS. GCS stands for Geographic Coordinate System. And WGS84 is that coordinate system that is developed to map big area, even a continent. So for this case, we are using Geographic Coordinate System, and we are using what we are calling the WGS84 data. So for people who are handling engineering projects, when you screenshot this file, upload an existing file, and it is in brackets that and then give it to the engineer and tell the engineer to give it to the surveyor who is handling the project. They will give you the file which is consistent to this requirement. I don't expect an expert to understand all this. But if you are doing an engineering project, tell the surveyor, tell the engineer, or take a screenshot of this one, share with the engineer, and tell the engineer to share it with the surveyor. The surveyor understands, this is like a walkover to a surveyor. It will give you the file which is consistent with this requirement, and then we'll be good to go. Now, for this case, I will demonstrate whereby somebody has given you a shapefile or a KML. I'll not go to JSON. That is for programming or for people who are doing programming. And I did have a sample for this training today. But critical, shapefile and KML. Now, let's say, for example, for the same project now, let's say, for example, and I want to give an example of government has been doing this James Gishuru Ironi Road. That is the road I want to use as an example, so that we all understand. I have combined something for that stretch, and I will be able to load it and see how it works. So if now, let's say, for example, now the engineer has given you the shapefile from the surveyor, and you have zipped it. I think you understand what is zipping. When you have it in a folder, you right-click the folder, send to zipped file, and you'll have a zipped file. So you'll click that, then it will give you an option to navigate to where the file is stored. And for that case, you navigate because you know what you are dealing with. My zipped file is here. I'll just double click it. Sorry, let me see. I don't know what has happened. Let me just reload it again and see. Now you have seen what has happened. Have you seen what has happened? If you zoom in, this is the Rironi James Gishuru Road, where it started to where it is ending. And those of us who are asking me, how will it happen? Because it has, maybe a project has many things. This one has even the Matatu stage where they did acquisition. I want to give you an example of this one. I don't know what was happening here. And sometimes when you fall across like this one, this was acquired for a Matatu stage. And you find that it is included in the line work. So that's why I'm saying those who are doing engineering projects, as long as you pass the right message to the surveyor, you'll be able to be given exactly what you want. And now, why we want this coming to us like the correct as possible, because you realize that with this background image, you can easily see that this is the correct position of this road. And this is a Matatu stage, or it's an interchange. And you realize that also, now the people who are doing review here, they can walk, or they can just pan the map, walk along with it, and see it is crossing which areas. Is there any sensitive ecosystem? They will be able to document, because we are using one of the most up-to-date images, and we can be able to see what is happening. And for this case, if you are the EI expert who did this James Gishuru Ironi Road, if now you are to submit after this training, this is what we would be expecting from you. And now we can be able to walk along the road, and we can be able to tell where the road is passing. You can see now these are the Matatu stages, and this one here. So these are the case of example whereby you have what you're calling a shapefile, and it is as easy as that. Shapefile, I stress you should, but as long as the shapefile is correct, as long as the surveyor has been told, we need, and for roads, we only need the road corridor. Ile line iko pande ya left na right, tuelewe the road corridor, and you are able to know if the road is a 60-meter road, these two lines should be 60 meters. But we only need to understand the road corridor. If you gave us this line alone, we would not be able to tell what will be affected on this other side. So for the case of a road, we expect the lines joining, the two lines which are defining the road corridor. Now, for the case of our pipeline, here I expect only one line. For the case of a line which is a pipeline. But if it is a pipeline with a corridor, like with like the KPC, Kenya Pipeline, I know there are pipelines of corridors. We expect to see that corridor as well. So instead of giving us one line, we expect a corridor like this one, because definitely when you have this, we know that the pipeline will be at the center. And this is for the case where you have a shapefile. For the case of a KML, just click KML, and you must have saved it somewhere. Like for my case, you navigate where you have saved the file in your computer or in your laptop. And that case, you'll be able to double click and give it some time to process. Why it is taking some time to process is because this road network here is not a single line. It has got many, many lines. Like this one had around 1,238 lines. So it is ingesting and processing all the lines to make sure that they are all loaded. You'll just see something the same like this or whatever we already have here. Because I have the same shapefile for this road and the same KML for this road. KML is a location file. I said KML stands for Keyhole Markup Language. It is a language that Google understands best. Just give it some time to finish processing, and then we would be good to go. Would be good to go. After this one, I'll be able to show you how to probably save your points as KML, and you would be good to go. Information to ensure that we don't return your reports because of having given us the wrong location. Because now after this one, the next 1 week or so, tutaanza kukaza sasa. Make sure you get the location data right, so that we improve on turnaround time to our clients. Because these are simple things that should not make your report go back. Yeah. Study report, polyline, saved. Why it is called a polyline? Because poly means many. So it's many, many lines which have been put into one shapefile, like what I was explaining. And now for this case, it has been ingested, and you have it here. Right. I want to just to demonstrate the last one. The last one, which I want to go to KML again so that we close. I want to show you how to, in the event that you don't want to draw here, I have said that you can load a KML. I want to show you that, and probably that will be the last component of the training. Then we can do questions. So let me stop sharing that. I want to go back to Google Earth. Google Earth. Please make sure I know it is load. Make sure you can see what we have. Somebody to confirm. Somebody to confirm. You can see. Ah, good.
Yes, it's visible.
Now, let's say, for example, somebody, you can deal with whatever that one of our client is.
There is one admin, and I think that's an admin.
Oh, that is from
the name admin. Kindly mute your mic.
Okay, thank you, Wafula.
Okay.
Now, experts, this is what I would recommend. When, for example, when we had this point, let me just delete it. When we were doing this point, let's say, for example, if you are doing a point, I said you can load an existing point. Even for points, you can still load them. I want to show you how to load a point and how to load a polygon, having created yourself without having to get involvement of anyone. Let's say, for example, it's a point. You click like that. And when you click on Google Earth, when you come to the point, you can move it to where you want it. But you must have zoomed to the area of interest to you, like that. When you put it there, if that is the correct position, you call this one NEMA GIS. For example, NEMA GIS, that is the point that you have given the name, and you say OK here. When you click OK, the point comes to your computer here. Now, when you want to save it as a KML, our system only puts KML. Right-click on the point and save place as. Even if it is a polygon, right-click on the polygon, save place as. Save place as. Then when you click the save place as, you navigate where you want to save it. And at the bottom here, the default one gives you KMZ. KMZ is zipped keyhole markup language. Don't go for KMZ. Under save as type, select KML, then you say save. You must be knowing where you have saved it, right? I want also to do a polygon. If you want to do a polygon, this one here was a point, the polygon is this one here. You come and do a polygon, like something like this. Like that. We call it NEMA HQ. Then you say, okay. When you come here, you find your NEMA HQ is here. And they usually give you the symbols. You can see this is a pin, meaning that's a point. This is a polygon. You right click on the polygon, then you say save place as. NEMA HQ, make sure you select save file type as KML. Don't pick KMZ, pick KML. Then after that, now I'll stop sharing this. I'll go now to the system. I know where I have saved my points. Now the system is here. I have said I'm only showing you for KML. Now I'll click on KML. I'll go to where I have saved my points. The first one was NEMA GIS headquarter. I mean NEMA GIS. So when you double click that one, it picks automatically and it brings you here. Okay, Angalia, this is where we picked it. This is where we picked it. Now, if it was a polygon, let's say like a plot, you digitize the corners on Google Earth, you click here and say NEMA headquarter, and you see now it picks everything, just like what you digitized in the Google Earth. That is why I said Google Earth is of great importance to us. We better start using it so that it makes our work very easy. If it was a point, you have seen how a point would come. So instead of you struggling here with knowing which one is S, which one is what, when you digitize it on Google Earth and save that point as a KML, you upload, it picks automatically, and you can be able to confirm whether that is a correct location. And then you are good to go. Once you are done with that, you scroll down here and click next. Now you move to the next level. And I think, Wafula, that is what we can present for today regarding the matters GIS module. Now we can take questions for the upload location file component. Back to you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you, Maitia, for the two presentations. I now, invite participants to ask questions or even write questions on the chat for the facilitator to respond. If there's no hand up, then it means
there is.
Maybe
Eric.
There is, eh?
Yeah, there is Eric.
Eric,
Yes.
kindly go ahead. Proceed.
Yes. Thank you so much, Bwana Sylvester, for the amazing presentation. My question is on Google Earth, because I've noticed that sometimes the Google Earth, the points, maybe the images are not up to date. There are some that are outdated. I don't know whether that is a challenge that can affect this process, or whether, as long as we pick the right point, the ENVIS can be able to pick out the updated data.
Thank you. This is what I would say. As long as you have picked the correct position of your project location, either using a GPS or using whichever application you are using, when it comes to us at ENVIS here, we'll be able to see it and then give it a proper judgment. And Google Earth is one of the most open source platform where you can get the most recent satellite images for visualization for free. So that is why I recommended Google Earth. There are others, but Google Earth will really give you a big deal for free. Yeah, and if there is need at NEMA on our front end here, I can be able to download your location file and overlay with the most recent satellite image, because we are moving to subscription whereby we can access almost real-time images for given locations in Kenya. But that is just for in case we have a very serious project that needs that kind of advancement. Back to you, Wafula.
Thank you. I think, can you see any other hand? Because I have not seen from my end.
No, I have not seen any.
But
Yes.
there's a question. There is a question. One of the participants asked why it is not possible to submit reports under the farm, while it's possible for lead experts to log in and submit. I think to answer you, I just want to point out that we're all aware that farms are not always, that all the experts who are within those farms are lead experts. Because in this case, you are required to submit the report when you are registered lead expert. But within the farm, you'll find that we have engineers, we have architects, we may have other experts with different competencies, but not necessarily registered to practice as lead experts or associate experts. And that is the main reason as to why reports must be submitted by a registered expert and not a firm which might have people with different backgrounds. Then, Maite, if you're able to see any other...
Edwin, I can see Edwin.
Edwin Otieno, yes, please.
Yes.
Edwin, proceed.
Edwin.
Yes, thank you, Maite, for that presentation. I think for me it would be more of a general comment, especially to Wafula and team. CIK, we appreciate this info session. I believe there's something personally I've learned as an expert. My only ask would be that is it possible we promptly have another info session, especially the submission of audits and probably other areas that maybe experts are experiencing challenges, so that we can have an experience as this one, that now moving forward we're able to learn some of this. Then maybe what I wanted also to ask Mr. Maidia is I believe this site referencing happens even in the submission of audits. In the event you have a residential flat, maybe would it still need these polygons and the likes, or maybe just because if it is a flat, it is just that particular structure. Can we just use point coordinates for purposes of sharing where the facility is? Because I believe this happens both for submitting of EIA as well as environmental audit. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to say this. We are still integrating the system to make sure that we try to reduce a lot of keying in of data and information as much as possible. Just to address your question, I know if you have a license of those flats, you must, I mean, if you have if the flats are existing, you must be having an EIA license. And when you are submitting that license, you must have submitted the location. We want to have that integration such that the moment you enter the EIA license when you are submitting your audit and the location file was submitted, that requirement is omitted in the audit, because it will just fetch the location file that was submitted at EIA time, at the time of EIA, and then it will proceed, so that you don't have to go through submitting the location file again for audit, because that would lead to data duplication, and data duplication will give us a trouble because we need more hard disk space to store the data, and it will reduce us a lot of work on our end and as well as at the end of the expert. Secondly, please give us the polygon where it is possible. Kindly give us the polygon, because you know with a polygon it is really big, and we know the minimum land size here. I know in Nairobi we have 40 by 80. That's the minimum, and we can have as many points as possible within that 40 by 80. Kindly give us the polygon where it is possible, because the boundary can be highly defined. Thank you.
Maybe just an addition question on what you have said, because that's what I wanted to ask. On data. When we as you have correctly stated that you're integrating with the EIA license, I want to imagine there are already audits that are submitted, especially this year, that this information has been given, as well as EDL applications, which also I believe some of them want that. Is it possible that now, by the time we are coming to submit new audits in the maybe subsequent years, then this data should also be so that it is not just the EI license, but it can pick the audit references as well. Because I believe that is something that should also be able to just be part of that to make maybe even the work easier.
Exactly my point, because when we have integration of systems, they are meant to ensure that we don't have data duplication, and the system communicates seamlessly, and the person doing that input will only input the only data that is relevant. I don't want to say yes 100%, but I am part of the team which is doing this system implementation. We are working around the clock to ensure that we do as much integration as possible. We hope that by then, this will have been made possible. Asante.
Thank you. We have, is that Irene Mutahi? Then Eric Abuga.
Okay, my question is regarding if, for example, you have uploaded an EA project and of course you followed the due procedure as you've shown us. In cases that it is returned and you have to maybe have an additional information that you need to add. Now, on this particular section, will you have to re-input the same data again? That is what you've showed us, whether it's the coordinates, whether it is the KML, such kind of things. Is it going to affect and then redo again? Because I've experienced that whereby we have uploaded projects, and then once maybe there's something that we need to add, you have to redo that particular section again, and initially it had saved. So does it auto-save, or you'll have to keep on re-uploading again? Thank you.
Irene, what is your experience? I have not tried this one. I personally try on the production site. Like what I was showing you, I was showing you on the live system, not even the testing environment. What is experience? Has it been when for example, a report is returned and you have addressed the issue and you are submitting it, do you have to reattach the location file?
It's normally out. So you cannot go to the next step of the process. You understand? Like you see the next step. So at this point, where you have uploaded the information that is required, it gets to a point. Maybe what you're supposed to address is maybe like having to add, like we say, for example, maybe a BOQ or maybe some other additional attachments that you're required to add. You'll have to repeat this particular section again. That is my experience. I had to repeat uploading those coordinates again. So my question is, are they automatically saved, or you have to keep on re-uploading again?
When you submit and the data comes to us, I know the location file is stored somewhere within the system. And you remember that even when you start application, the application is already given a unique number. So I have not tried on that case whereby you will have to re-upload the location file, but I want to pick this one up and see what happens and try to see the best resolution to this challenge.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eric, do you have a question?
Eric?
Yes,
Eric?
yes. Oh, thank you very much. Once again, I'm really enjoying this. And now I have two questions, and I believe these are going to Mr. Godfrey. There's someone had already asked, and I've seen it on chat as well, about us using the proponents account in submitting the reports. Has this been sorted? Because sometimes it makes it hard for us. And then the second question is, now that we are going digital, like the way Sylvester's done an amazing presentation, do we really need to submit so many hard copies, like 5 hard copies, and yet we are about conservation of the environment, reducing the use of papers?
Thank you, Eric. I think I will start from your last question. I to believe that since we went digital, probably you are yet to interact with the system, because beginning 1st of August last year, that marked the end of submission of hard copies. So when you will interact with the system, you'll find out that right now we are only allowing submission of soft copies, and you attach the reports online. I'm not sure if you've been asked anywhere, maybe during your work, to take hard copies to the offices. And if that is the case, probably you can get in touch later. Let me know maybe which office was that was asking for the 5 copies. On your first question, I think the genesis of this was Section 58 of NEMA. If you read Section 58 of NEMA, is that proponents, prior to financing and even undertaking projects, they submit projects. And when you further look at the provisions of the Act, they say the Act says that experts, or those reports that are being submitted by proponents, will be undertaken by registered and qualified experts. So the law as it is now, actually, it requires that it's the proponent that submits. But I know there has been discussions whether there can be reconsideration to allow for the experts to submit. Since we haven't changed the policy as it stands now, still the proponents, the experts will be submitting EIA applications, audit applications through the proponent's account. However, but I think regarding the environmental audit, I've seen a number of proponents who have been submitting audit reports, but I think they need first to seek concurrence with the experts for them to be able to submit those audit reports. And we are hoping that the notification module is working effectively, where a report is submitted in the name of a lead expert, that you receive notifications so that you can try to successful of EI applications.
For audit, it does not work. The notification module does not work for the audits. Maybe just a point to note.
Okay. Okay, I've picked up that, and we are going to follow up with the developers to see how that can be improved. Liz, you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, thank you very much for this informative session. My concern is where we have to attach an EIA license when you're doing an audit. And we realize that there are some audits that have been built on an initial audit. How do we go about that?
Kindly come again.
I'm referring to cases where we have the yearly audits that have been built on an initial audit, where we have this facility that never undertook an EIA. And now when we are submitting the audits, we are required to attach a license.
an EIA license? How do we go about it?
Thank you, Liz. I think there are instances where we've come across such cases, but essentially, it is expected that any project that came into existence after 2002, you are required to have had an environmental impact assessment. There are cases where proponents, instead of undertaking environmental impact assessments, they have been submitting initial environmental audits as the baseline assessment reports, which I believe wasn't proper. So such cases, we've been advising experts to undertake environmental impacts, environmental impact assessment and submit to NEMA. But if the project was in existence before MCA, you're actually supposed to bring up this matter to our attention so that then it can be resolved, so you're able to submit the annual environmental audit for it to be processed. If you have any closing remarks,
I can see one hand. Anne, have you been answered? Or do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, mine is on audit, whereby you have some issues have been returned. You have to go back to the ENVIS and edit. So you find that you have a selection of issues. Then when you go to upload or address the issues, you find that information which you had uploaded earlier is not there, and you have to re-upload. And it keeps on disappearing, such that you have to re-upload more than 2 times. So I think as NEMA, you need to check on that, so that whenever you raise issues, we don't have to go back with to what we had been uploaded, and thank you.
Mommy.
That is noted.
Yeah, I think that is Wafula's.
Yeah, that's noted for onward forwarding to the developers to work on it.
So, Wafula, I think I don't see any further questions. I can take it back to you for wrap up and closing.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank EIK for mobilizing their members to attend this session. We are looking forward to many more engagements. And also, I think we must appreciate the role members of EIK have played in the development and improvement of this system, because we've been receiving comments, we've been receiving documented issues for NEMA to look at the system and improve it. So we are hoping that this partnership will continue, so that we can have a system that is working for all of us, to make doing business easy, and also to improve efficiency and effectiveness of the authority. So I want to invite, I don't know if Edwin or the chairman of EIK is still there.
Please, I have a question before you close.
Okay.
Seeing you serve the GTC, kindly introduce yourself.
Yes. My name is Granton. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Granton. Please go ahead.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
This is my first time to since this new system came into effect. This is my first time to submit an audit. But then I'm wondering that is indicated here, the start of the audit and the end time of the audit. What exactly do they mean? Please, if you can explain on that or you can expound on that.
That one refers to the period under the review. The period under the review when you are auditing. If, for example, the last audit was 31st December 2024, then your audit and maybe probably you're undertaking your audit in January 2026, then the review period is going to be January 2025 to 31st December 2025. So that is the period within which you are going, of course, to audit the project activities and present your findings.
I think that is clear.
That's clear? All right. Mosuku, if you're on board, kindly invited the chairman. You can have the chairman, the vice chairman, or the CEO to just pass a vote of thanking everyone. Vote of thanks. Then we can.
Wafula, maybe I can say something before.
Yes,
before
please.
you hand it over. Yes. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who spared his or her time to get into this. The experts, their CEO, and Wafula also for guiding me on how to go about it in terms of when it comes to training. I sincerely thank you for turning in, and we are here to support you. I have shared my contacts on the chat. Please pick it up in the event that you have a challenge on location file or anything to do with GIS module. Me, I'm very specific. Anything to deal with GIS module. Please reach out to me and we shall get you sorted. All other matters you can channel to Wafula. You should be able to handle. And I also want to thank you for your continued feedback, because system improvement can only happen when the users are giving feedback. We sincerely thank you for this, and please continue sharing the feedback, either documented or otherwise, so that you can continue improving this system. Thank you so much for your support, and have a good morning. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you. Is the CEO still with us? Or the vice chairman or the chairman?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. I see Alex is in, so I'm Edwin. I'm the vice chair. I think I'll allow the chair give the final remarks. However, allow me to just acknowledge the team from NEMA for your continuous support. I believe we have a long way to go, but again, they say every journey of 100 miles starts with one step. So for me, the main appeal would be that we shouldn't wait any longer for another request. Specifically, I think we need to have a very discussion with the people in the audit side, the environmental audit submission, and many others that areas that we're experiencing challenges. So it is our appeal as CIK that let us continue maybe having this session, because it goes a long way in helping make our work easier. Thank you, Mr. Maidi. Again, I believe even before this session, you've been very helpful. I've also received your help through the CEO. And I know, just as you have mentioned, you're really committed to making sure we are supported. To our members, we believe let us continue maybe raising those concerns and areas of suggestion, so that we are able to continually engage NEMA to make sure this system works for us and help us, even as we look forward to the many other recommendations that we've been able to give. Otherwise, I'll allow our chair, Mr. Mugambi, to maybe give the remarks from there. Thank you.
Basically, mine is to thank you, rather to really appreciate all of us for getting the time, specifically NEMA for this well done presentation. I am a major in GIS, and I can say, Marcia, you've done a really good job. The other bit is where we are with ENVIS. Basically, take the feedback, well, do the implementation that needs to be done at the back end. Hopefully, we get it settled and settled well. The other is basically also to urge our members from the feedback you're getting from NEMA, when we document these challenges, structurally they can be followed up better and they can be worked on better. So please keep on giving that feedback so that again, we can pick it very well and know where that is to be placed. So over and above the immediate solution you will need to be sorted at an instance, it would it would do us good if we'd have it documented and then it is followed up systematically and that issue is laid to rest. I think that is the much I have. Wafula, Maisia, director, started with us, Sijamona. We were with him in the morning. Very much appreciated for this session. And hopefully to more as need be.